we finally have some sun here in southern Australia today, and what I'm going to do is a bit of a solar cook, and we've got the duo out today. We have the Suntaste solar cooker, which is this one here, and we also have the Suntaste Sun-OK solar oven. And to start off, what I'm going to do is go inside where my youngest is starting to put together some brownies so that we can get some brownies going in the Sun-OK. My youngest is all set up in here to make some brownies, and we are just going to do a simple packet mix of brownie today, which is a really good way of getting kids into doing the solar cooking because it's nice and simple. Also really handy if you're doing recipes on the road with your solar ovens as well. Obviously a lot easier to transport just a simple packet as opposed to all the ingredients to do something from scratch. So what are you going to do first, buddy?
I'm going to grab 125 grams of unsalted butter. We're going to put it in the bowl and then we're going to melt it in the microwave. So now that we've finished melting the butter, we're going to crack some chicken eggs from our chickens. And now I'm going to smash them up. Now I'm going to put in the brownie mix into our melted butter and eggs. And give it a stir. Look at it, a little chocolate pellet.
Yummy. You're making sure all the chunks are stirred in, aren't you?
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to pop it in the pan. Now I can put this brownie mix into the solar oven.
Now before it goes in, I just want to do a quick check on the temperature. So I've had this one preheating now for about probably half an hour, and it's sitting on 110 degrees Celsius. All right, so this is where I'm going to take over because I don't want my little one getting burned. And now we wait. While this is cooking, every so often I need to make sure it's oriented correctly towards the sun. And the way that I do that is a quick check by putting my hand here on the side. You can see there's a bit of shading there, which means it's not quite in the right angle. And none on this side. So what I'm going to do is just spin this a bit towards the sun. Needs to go a little bit further. And there we go, I've now got a bit of shadow on this side, and that's what I want because what will happen is the sun will continue to move across the sky, and it means that I won't need to make as many incremental movements if it's already on this side a little bit. The other thing I need to do is just make sure that the reflector is pointed correctly towards the sun as well, just to get the maximum amount of sunlight into the solar oven. And you can see when I wibble this a little bit, you can see where the sun is moving inside. It's not quite where I want this at the moment, so what I need to do is move this upwards. So I'm moving this bit upwards now, and that is allowing more sunlight to get into my solar oven. What I want to do is make sure it doesn't go too far forward, otherwise the light will be pointed out of the solar oven itself. I want it kind of pointed onto that front mirror area that you can see here. And that's looking pretty good. I've just popped that in and we can see it is 10:35 at the moment. Normally it takes about 35 minutes in a regular oven. I do find it takes a little bit longer in the solar oven though, particularly if we stick around those temperatures of around 110 degrees. But I suspect it'll go up a little bit more than that today. And if you're interested what type of temperature we're cooking in outside today, you can see that the ambient air temperature is 25.2 degrees Celsius out there. 20 minutes has passed. Let's have a bit of a check and see how our brownies are going. All right, that's starting to look really good. We're at that 35-minute mark now, so we're going to have a bit of a look at how the brownie is baking.
It still has some cracks in it, and it still looks a bit moistury.
Yeah, and we're starting to get a little bit of moisture building up in the sun oven as well now. And just looking at the temperature, we are, it's probably about 125 degrees Celsius at the moment. So not as hot as it would be if it was in an indoor oven, but it's still cooking quite nicely. I think it said it needed to be cooked at about 180 degrees Celsius for 35 minutes. That's what it said on the box, but because it
is cooler, we got to cook it for a bit longer.
Yeah, that's right. We've got to cook it for a bit longer because it is a bit cooler in here. Almost exactly an hour has passed, and I did have a little bit of a sneak peek a second ago at the brownies, and they're looking pretty ready to get out. So I'm going to go grab my youngest and we'll pull out his brownies. All right, what do you reckon about this?
I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, you reckon it's ready to come out?
Yeah, looks cooked.
It does look cooked, and I think we got it to about 130 degrees Celsius in here today. All right, let's take it out. Ooh, look at that steam. That's hot. Looking good.
It smells good.
Yeah, it does smell really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it feels like it's ready.
It's got a little air bubble.
It does have a little air bubble where it popped up in there. So let's cut into it and let's see what the texture's like.
Oh, it's really like, it's easy to cut.
It is. You know what? That looks pretty moist and delicious. Look at that. That is cooked absolutely perfect.
Make sure it doesn't fall off the spoon.
What, into your mouth?
Yeah.
So as always, the brownies came out absolutely amazing, beautiful and fudgy. And now it's time to sit out on the deck and have a bit of a bite. This is a great activity if you're looking at getting the kids into solar cooking. Nice and simple for them to start with. And as I mentioned, it's also a great recipe for when you're on the road as well. Anyway, it's time for us to now sit down and enjoy a bit of brownie. Thanks for joining. Catch you later.